Hi and welcome to this week's video. A bit more prep work to get ready for covering, so we better get cracking. Come on then. Well, here's one of the little things that take up the time. It's just making up these brackets and things like that. This one is to hold the pitot-static system inside the cockpit. It's just made out of a piece of angled aluminium drilled. That's where it's going to fit in, and two air connectors will go onto here for the pitot-static, and then they'll go through and down through the side of the fuselage and into the leading edge of the wing on the starboard side to run out along the leading edge to the connectors up to the pitot-static head. So there we go. Not great, but it all takes time. There's the bracket in place with the two connectors. You can see the hole going through the side there, which is going to let the pitot-static pipes come in from the wing. I'm now just going to put in those pipes going up the side and towards the rear of the dash now. So let's crack on with that for a bit. I've put in a little negative earth bus at the bottom there with aluminium rivets going through from the bottom of the aircraft up into the 6 connector type brass section there, which will act as a negative bus, and I've dealt with the sorting out some of the wiring for the plug there, for the 12 volt plug, which sort of cigarette lighter style feed, which has got an inline fuse for the pilot aware. So the pilot aware section down there is now getting will be able to get its feed. So the other end of the red wire will feed up to the instrument panel, and it'll be somewhere around here somewhere. There'll be a switch for all the avionics, and there'll be a circuit breaker for all the avionics, and individual circuit breakers for the radio and transponder, and we'll just rely on an inline fuse for the pilot aware. To support the covering, I'm making up these little sections which will go across here and mount to the centre sort of stringer sections there and out. You just see it's just slightly shy of the edge. That's because I'm going to scarf the ply to make sure that it's sort of close to the radius, which comes to about here. So and it's going to be 32nd ply that's going to be used, very thin. This is going to give the support to make sure it doesn't bend down onto the undercarriage mounting section. So the stiffness comes from this, but it'll be flexible across that way for the covering, so it can conform with the covering and won't show too much, but we'll keep the covering away from here. There are other methods of doing it, but I think this is the sort of neatest way of getting it. At least I'm hoping it's going to be one of the neatest ways of getting it to look reasonably good. Well, there are the pieces of wood in position. All I did was I clamped them against the side of the tube using a bit of the 1/8 inch material as a sort of spacer, and just clamped them with an F clamp going across. And now I've created these plywood sections, which I've cut so that they're just shy of the edge there, and chamfered it so that they'll sit down nicely on the side. So I can glue these into position, and once they're set I can just make sure everything nice and smooth and take this out and varnish the assembly there. So I'll do that on both sides, and then I'll repeat the operation possibly tomorrow down here for this one here. There are the plates being glued on with weights and things to hold them in the relative place, and the tape to stop them from sliding around. So hopefully they will be fully cured for tomorrow, and then we'll go on to the forward ones. Just to show you how I did the clamping, there's the spacers on either side with the F clamp in position. I'm just going to wipe this excess glue off here, but there they are in position. So this is the front set. Just going to make up another couple of ply pieces like that, which I can put onto these ones once they've cured. You can sort of see how it's fared. So it literally goes around the corner, it's straight up onto there, the covering will go. I just need to varnish, well, both sets together when I do it, get these varnished, and it should work quite nicely. It's got a little bit of flex in it for the covering to be able to make it just conform front to rear. The idea is that the covering's got something to actually grip hold of and won't pull apart as it shrinks. So we'll have a nice slot there for the undercarriage mounting to go through, and as you can see the bolts can go straight through nice and easily. No need for any cutouts, which makes life really pleasant for putting the assembly together. So there it's all in position, all the plates are there and varnished, so ready to go. The very little left to do now to be able to put on the lower covering. It's going to be just a little bit of a wait for some bits I need just before I start, but imagine within the next couple of weeks we'll be making a move, covering at least the bottom, and hopefully then working our way up the sides. But we'll see how we get on. Well, that's it for this week, folks. We're nearly ready for covering. Just got to wait for the varnish and that which I've put on these to dry, fully cure. I like to leave that for about 5 days or so to make sure it's really there before I sand it. I'll sand this lot with 220 grit. That's smooth enough for getting a nice key with the Oratex glue on the bits which need to have the Oratex glue on. So, well, might get to covering at the back end of the next video, but probably the video after, because there's 1 or 2 bits and pieces I need to get before I can do the covering. Nothing particularly major, but it's just time for it to arrive. But I'm very happy with where we're at, and there's still 1 or 2 little bits and pieces I can crack on with while I'm waiting to get on with covering. So keep well, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you next one. Bye now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. You can subscribe or even hit the little bell notification for future videos. Any comments would be appreciated, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Remember, go fly and feel the sky.